absolutely. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. I just like to say g'day from Australia. On a very beautiful day, very cold. It's minus 5.7 here in the mountains where I live. So just like to say hello. My name is Maria Hopwood-Jones, and I'm an ASEA Diamond with this amazing company, ASEA. Today, we're going to be presenting to you how to experience optimal cellular health and increase your financial certainty, particularly now with ASEA, the breakthrough and the opportunity with Stevie Aquilina. So let me introduce Stevie. Stevie and I have known each other for over 6 years. He's like my big brother. He's just an amazing human being. He's been a very independent master of his own destiny since the very tender age of 15. He's got a huge amount of experience in life and business. He's very wise, and he lives in Queensland in Australia with his wife Sarah and his beautiful 4 boys. Now 6 years ago they decided to join ASEA, and they've never looked back. It has impacted their lives in more ways than one we're about to find out. Steve and Sarah right now are high-profile ASEA leaders, very passionate about enhancing people's lives, your lives, my lives, everybody's lives, and are 100% committed to ASEA's mission to better people's lives and be a force for good in the world. I would like to welcome my pseudo brother that I love very much, Stevie Aquilina. Welcome to the webinar.
My sister from another mister. That was a very kind introduction, probably a little bit too kind, but I really appreciate it. And working with you is fantastic because I know you in your heart have this mission set in there very sincerely. And in case anyone here doesn't know what it is, it's to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. Full stop. That's what's first and foremost most important. And Maria embodies that and performs that every single day, and not just for her team. She embraces anyone that comes along her way, but she's a very successful leader. I think maybe we'll get to hear from you a little bit later in this Zoom as well. I should be introducing you because, you're such an illustrious and tremendous leader and a light to the entire world here at ASEA. So we really appreciate you greatly. So
I'll learn from you. Thank you.
Well, I'm really excited to be here with everybody. It's always so awesome to tune in here on a Saturday. If you're over on my side of the world and see so many of you here, and on a Friday night, if you're on the other side of the world where Dan is, he's an Aussie, but he's living in Hawaii, but it's a Friday night for you. And so it's just always, there's hundreds of you here and it's always awesome to be here with you. And I'm very grateful for that because we have some information to share with you that is incredibly important. It's been high priority for me to bring it to everybody's attention since it was first handed to me well over 6.5 years ago now. It had a significant impact in my life and in the lives of my loved ones. And so that's what makes the importance level of this information significantly high, because the impact that it's having in people's lives is significantly deep. And so I'm very honored that you've chosen to spend your time here with us today, because it's the most valuable thing that you could probably spend on me, because I can't refund it. It's far more valuable than money. And so I don't intend to waste your valuable time. Let's jump straight into this presentation. I'm going to let you know what this breakthrough is and who we are and where we come from, the company, and what's running behind it. But I want you to stick around through my part, because at the very end, you're going to hear from an incredibly exceptional gentleman who's my best mate. And you won't want to miss out on hearing his story, but also catching the jewels of wisdom that he has that he's going to give you here for free today. So, all right, let me share my screen here and we'll jump straight into this. Let me get control here. Okay, beautiful. So as Maria said, my name is Stevie Aquilina, and in case you couldn't tell by the introduction and by my Crocodile Dundee accent, my family and I, we live in Australia, and we're originally from Sydney. Why is my controls not working? Here we go. Originally from Sydney, but now we live on the Gold Coast, and that was really, truly a dream come true when we can make that happen, because I've always wanted to come up here. It just took a little longer to convince Sarah, my wife. But we're minutes from beautiful beaches, mountains, rainforests, coastal cities, theme parks. I can't imagine. Did you say minus 5.7, Maria, where you are? I can't imagine that.
Yes.
Wow. No, thank you. Yeah, we're fortunate to be up here on the tropical side of Australia, and I feel very blessed and grateful for the life, income, time, and freedom that has been allowed to me, that allows my family and I to enjoy a really great lifestyle together. And it's also taken us to many parts of the world that once upon a time just way too far out of my reach, to be honest. Because the good vibes and good times that we find ourselves in right now were not always the case for me personally. I was a very difficult, weird, awkward, and strange child to parent, school, and raise. I never made the grades in school. I was often, when I say often, it was actually every day, I was told I was stupid and useless, among other things. And I kind of figured out when you're told something often enough, especially while you're young and impressionable enough, you kind of start to believe it. Other bad things happened to me too, but that was probably the worst, the stuff that was happening in my head that was being fed into me. Now, later, I became a teenage runaway and a high school dropout. And with that kind of thinking, I really just walked myself way off track on life's journey throughout my teens and 20s. I'm only going to give you the PG version, so we're just going to skim across the surface. I had more than 20 different jobs in less that time. And for over a decade, I was a very dumb but very good-looking bouncer in what used to be the most popular nightclubs in Sydney, but it was also the most notorious area in Sydney at that time, which was King's Cross. So I was in the wrong places, hanging out with the wrong people, learning from the wrong people, and doing the wrong things. I had big dreams. I was a daydreamer, but I was not a daydream believer. I wanted to be, do, and have more. I really wanted to give more. I wanted to be doing something more significant, but I had a little self-esteem, little sense of confidence and self-worth. And so I'd done a little with my life. And so I had little to give, right? Physically, I've always been athletic, even to right now, mainly in martial arts. You wouldn't have known it back then, but I had really bad health troubles. An autoimmune disease, an inflammatory disease, severe skin, respiratory, and gut diseases most of my life. Lots of bad injuries from very hardcore, old school martial arts. Now, financially, when I had money, I was getting it from the wrong places. But I got myself stuck in go nowhere jobs. I had hopes going nowhere, no prospects, no financial security, no financial dignity. I was really embarrassingly broke when I started to pull myself out of the life that I just really shouldn't have got myself into at the first place. And I found that very hard. I had phone, electricity, gas cut off. That's how broke I got. I was not able to run my car on anything more than just the fumes of petrol. I wasn't able to make the rent, and I've been evicted. I mean, I became embarrassingly broke. I just was in a world that I was never in before. Always believed in possibilities, but I doubted my potential. And so with that kind of contradiction, it led to confusion and then unfulfillment and unhappiness and frustration. I was just trapped. I was really not able to be who I really wanted to be and who I really should have been. Now, things started to turn around for me when I met the girl of my dreams. She believed in me, and more than ever before, I was motivated to become more. She always told me that I was more constantly on a daily basis. And I figured out once again, once you're told something often enough, right? Now, a massive turning point is that I was introduced to this company and its life-changing breakthrough, its life-changing opportunity, and its life-changing training. Now, the company leaders are extremely successful people, and they, for some reason, believed in me too and taught me how to believe and become more. And so now, fast forward today, after many, many years of this, today, instead of having health and problems, I've been able to solve them, and I have the honor of helping others solve them too, in very significant ways, because of this life-changing breakthrough. Instead, now of having this financial insecurity, indignity, and being embarrassingly broke, I have security and dignity because of this life-changing financial opportunity. And now, instead of being trapped, unfulfilled, unhappy, frustrated, I now have the ability to believe and become more. I have the ability to give more, which is what I always really wanted, because this company's training has shown me a life-changing better way. And so now I want to spend the rest of my life doing nothing less than bettering people's lives in at least any one of these life-changing ways too. And I hope that's you, or at least someone you know. So what I'm going to share with you first is the most significant health and life science breakthrough of our lifetime. This is the life-changing breakthrough. Now, medical experts are saying that this is a very big breakthrough. You probably heard all about it on the previous call if you stuck around with us from there. This is a breakthrough that is greater than the discoveries of DNA or penicillin. For 2 decades, science had declared that this was impossible. This is a breakthrough with enormous potential, proven by renowned universities and world-leading laboratory medical studies, not made-up studies, medical studies, considered to be a very advanced breakthrough, 15 years ahead of its time, and any health goals or challenges you can think of, remarkable results. And drug companies wanted it shut down, but more about that a little later. Before I tell you what this is, let's be clear about what this is not, because this is absolutely nothing like anything else you've ever seen before. What we'll be talking about goes well beyond anything that I've managed to fit in on the screen here. It goes well beyond drugs or nutrition. It goes well beyond any type of ingredients or technology you already know about, because what I'm about to show you instead is an entirely new frontier in science, and it's truly groundbreaking. It's category creating and is a real deal healthcare breakthrough. So the ASEA Redox cell signaling technology is a drink, and it contains active redox signaling molecules. That's all that's in this bottle that I'm showing you here. But what are redox signaling molecules? They are made by your cells. Redox signaling molecules are native to your body. They're already in you. Body already makes them. They're your cellular messengers that affect your cell-to-cell communication, and therefore your cell-to-cell operation. With good communication comes good operation. And I mean everything all the way down to your genetic expressions are being affected in a very positive way by redox signaling. Redox signaling is a remarkable process because it is the actual process that empowers your body to heal itself. And that happens by redox signaling molecules telling your cells how to protect healthy cells, repair unhealthy cells, and how to replace damaged cells. That is literally how your body regenerates its own tissue. Can't happen without redox signaling molecules. Redox signaling molecules also activate your body's immune system to protect against bacteria, viruses, and infection. Look, the bottom line is this: redox signaling is what keeps cells functioning at optimal levels. Why is this so important? Because we are all made of cells. We live and die at the cellular level. So redox signaling molecules are telling cells how to be healthy, which means you can have a healthy body, which means you can have a healthy life. Redox signaling molecules are really the keys to life. They are essential for the activation and function of our normal physiology. And I mean all of our body's major systems, biochemical and physiological processes, all of it critically depends on redox signaling, because if all of your cells were to suddenly stop making redox signaling molecules right now, you wouldn't live longer than just a few more mere seconds. Now, you could live longer without food. You could live longer without water. You might even be able to live longer holding your breath. But without your redox signaling molecules, life ends. So if our bodies already makes redox signaling molecules, why do we need to give our bodies more? Well, when we're born, we do make an abundance of redox signaling molecules. That's generally why children have so much energy and how they can run around all day, not wake up sore the next day, how they can bounce back so quickly if they get injured or ill. However, as we age, along with stress, poor diet, toxins, and all sorts of other environmental assaults, our cells break down and our body's ability to make redox molecules also breaks down. And without as many redox signaling molecules giving clear cell signals and instructions of how to work properly, our whole cellular healing and protection process breaks down too. And ultimately what breaks down is our health, wellness, youth, and vitality. Now, ASEA takes science seriously and is highly committed to ongoing research with renowned universities and world-leading laboratories, allowing these outside third-party, independently reviewed studies to prove the potential of ASEA, demonstrating the safety and efficacy of the ASEA Redox products and certifying them as safe and effective in everybody. Now, ASEA is within a very real and significant space of science. Redox is based in Nobel Prize winning research. Now, the first Nobel Prize was awarded to these three professors back in 1998 for the first discovery of a redox signaling molecule. Since then, there have been multiple signaling molecules discovered with multiple Nobel Prizes awarded for research within this field. If you went along to pubmed.gov, which is where all peer-reviewed medical studies are published, and you typed in redox signaling in the search bar there, you would see well over 33,000 results. There are more than 1,500 medical textbooks that have been published on redox signaling. This slide is already way out of date with around 150 studies coming out almost every single month. If you went, according to medical researchers and even mainstream media, as reported in the Huffington Post, who specifically wrote about ASEA in this article that I'm sharing, redox signaling is one of the fastest emerging fields in science that will shape all of our lives in the coming years. And there are now multiple universities who've received tens of millions of dollars in grants to open up redox research centers. There are now global medical conferences and congresses being held about redox. Medical doctors are specializing in redox, with one such professor, a doctor at Harvard Medical School, who has a PhD and title that includes Director of Redox Medicine. Now, as for ASEA outside of all this, we are light years ahead. ASEA redox users enjoy cell signaling benefits, which really translates to health at its most foundational level. Here's just one example. ASEA redox has been scientifically tested and shown to signal the activation of genetic pathways. In other words, affect your genes that improves your immune system health, that helps maintain a healthy inflammatory response, that helps maintain cardiovascular health, your heart health, and support your arterial elasticity, and then improves your gut health and digestive enzyme production, and that modulates your hormone balance to support vitality and wellness. Now, these genes are key in the health of every individual. They play a vital role, not just in the 5 mentioned human health areas, but also in dozens of additional genetic pathways. Now, moreover, ASEA redox has also been scientifically tested and shown to enhance your body's own production and efficiency of antioxidants by up to 800%. Further studies show that ASEA lowers oxidative stress. Now, this is important. One of the head professor, I should say, of this university study has said that one of the most important effects of ASEA on disease risk factors is its ability to reduce oxidative stress. And that's significant because all degenerative health concerns are caused by oxidative stress. That's a very big deal. From rigorous toxicology studies, ASEA is proven to be 100% safe, 0% toxicity. Why? Because redox signaling molecules are native to your body. They're already in you. Your body already makes them. It's just that now your body can't make as much of them as it used to be able to when it was younger and healthier. So if you have health challenges, if you have people that you care about who do, if you have a wish that you could look, live, and feel young once again, if you have the very good sense for protecting your health because you don't want to become old and unwell, if you have a goal of having higher levels of human performance, whether it be as an athlete or just in your everyday life, any health goal you can think of, redox users and medical doctors are seeing just remarkable results. Now, you don't need to take my word for it if you don't want to, because here are some medical doctors so you can listen to what they have to say. Should be coming up. Something is going very slow today. Hopefully you can still hear me, but everything's frozen on my end. Un momento. Can you still hear me, Maria?
Yes.
Okay. Let me try and, here we go.
Redox signaling molecules are like the DNA whisperer. They signal cells to be healthy. And because of age, because of medications, because of toxicity in the environment, you lose your ability to make the redox signaling molecules. So having them with ASEA simply replenishes what your body is doing natively when you were young. You know, I've been in the business for 40 years, and this is the first time that I've ever heard about the redox signaling molecules, which to me is a breakthrough of the 21st century, akin to the electric light bulb in the 20th century and maybe even the discovery of penicillin. Because your body is a redox signaling program, and to be able to replenish it on a day-to-day basis, internally and externally, is not just a breakthrough, it's a game changer.
Health is something we have to earn. What can I do to get to the root of things and really prevent problems from happening? Is it possible? And the answer is yes.
You know, I think most people don't actually really consider their health until it's gone. So it's the choices that we make today that are going to determine the level of our wellness and our health and our healthy longevity tomorrow.
We want to keep people healthy. We don't want to see that deterioration. The whole process of the anti-aging and regenerative medicine that I'm so passionate about is on the premise that we can maintain energy, we can maintain health.
So prevention is key, but people need to value it, and people need to understand what it is and take responsibility.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants. And the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. And you can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries, but now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
This is where the future lies, and this is why redox chemistry and supplements that employ this are so powerful.
They literally turn on and turn off, signal every single process in every living cell. And to be able to stabilize a product that allows us to replenish that is just a phenomenal breakthrough.
This has the capability to change the landscape of the healthcare system as we know it.
So now that we've spoken about cellular health from the inside out, I'd like to show you what's possible from the outside in. And that's made possible by ASEA's topical versions of Redox technology, which are Renew 28, our Redox gel, on the far right, and next to it, our intensive redox serum. Now, these redox technologies are supported and enhanced by their complementary all-natural ingredients products, our gentle refining cleanser on the far left, and next to it, our ultra replenishing moisturizer. But a picture is worth 1,000 words. So let's just show you what our redox technologies are actually worth with these amazing health, anti-aging, and age-reversing results you'll be able to see in these photos. Now, lines and wrinkles are smoothed out, elasticity comes back to the skin. Skin blemishes, spots, dots, marks, inflammations, irritations, aggravations, other signs of poor health to the skin being renewed. For young people too, being rejuvenated, improving the quality of life, even the aftermath of some of these unfortunate conditions coming back to the proper surface of the skin. This is Rosie. The dramatic difference you're seeing in the first two pictures on the left couldn't be seen by Rosie because she did not take those pictures. Actually, Rosie believed that the products were not even working. Rosie went along to see her doctor. That's who told her about ASEA and who took these pictures. And when Rosie said to the doctor, the products don't work, the doctor showed these pictures, and I guess the rest of the story can be seen here, right? Everybody says they want to see how ASEA goes. But Rosie missed the moment-by-moment changes by not taking pictures. And that means other people are probably going to miss them too. So take pictures. That's how you see how ASEA goes. And for anything you can't take a picture of, keep a written record instead. Some people notice results in a reasonable amount of time, 7 weeks like Rosie, others within 7 days. A lot of people can have an experience in around about 7 minutes, but some people need to apply more product, time, and patience, generally when there's more going on with their health, right? Now, what we know scientifically is that redox signaling molecules are all the same. They're the same in you, me, animals, plants. They're all precisely the same. Now, studies show that ASEA redox products have an immediate positive effect. They work in every single person, every single time. It would be scientifically impossible for them to not work in you and or hurt you. That's just not their nature. That's not what they do. But what does differ from person to person is the time it takes them to notice the change. Now, speaking of noticing the change, this doctor did a little experiment of his own on his very own face and used Renew 28 on only half of his face and not the other. Can you spot the difference? Once you see it, it's pretty obvious. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. All right, so Renew 28 is not just for your face. Oh, I'm stuck again. It's not just for your face, but you'll see in the next pictures when they come up, arms, hands, here we go, bellies, more bellies on the next slide, and buttocks, thighs, all over. Now, these pictures are actually from a study by a world-leading laboratory. The study was done because there were many reports coming in from around the world of people saying their cellulite had disappeared while they were using Renew 28. So scientists set upon very strict studies to see if there was any truth to these stories. And they actually found after just 12 weeks, there was at least a 16% reduction or more in the appearance of cellulite. And when the scientists did ultrasounds to try and discover how this was happening, they saw the subcutaneous fat that was causing the cellulite had actually been dissolved from using Renew 28. So Renew 28 helps reduce the appearance of cellulite and wrinkles, enhances skin texture, smooths the skin, not just for visibly younger looking skin, but for actual healthier skin, and healthy is the new beautiful. Renew 28 helps soothe skin discomfort after things like shaving, sun exposure, and the like. But Renew 28 is not just for the skin. It helps soothe discomfort around the body. And you can know about it in about 10 minutes if you have some discomfort around your body. If you're something that's hurting you, something that's sore, give that sore spot a soreness score on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning maximum soreness. Apply Renew 28 on that sore spot, on that hurting point, 3 times within 5 minutes. And usually 9 to 10 out of every 10 people who try this will notice a soothing or reduction of that discomfort within approximately 10 minutes. Nothing I've said here today has been intended to diagnose anything that you're going through. ASEA does not claim to treat or cure any diseases. Now, with every great breakthrough comes great opportunity. The greater the breakthrough, the greater the opportunity. ASEA is a life-changing breakthrough. And that's created a life-changing financial opportunity behind all of this to make a living while bettering people's lives. ASEA is the world's first and only redox signaling supplement for 2 reasons. One, for nearly 3 decades now, no one other than the medical scientists who've worked with ASEA have been able to figure out how to create and stabilize redox signaling molecules outside of the body. In fact, for the 2 decades before the doctors with ASEA's breakthrough work, science had all declared that this was impossible. Now, just as a quick side note, Bioagilitics is a huge scientific organization that assesses and certifies most of the top pharmaceutical companies in the world, basically making sure that what those companies are saying are in those products are actually in those products. And Bioagilitics does the same assessment regularly with ASEA and certifies that we do have redox signaling molecules in our redox products. Now, second, ASEA is heavily patented. But that doesn't just mean that ASEA can't be copied. I mean, it's not allowed to be copied, but on top of that, ASEA can't be copied because there's no way to look into a bottle of ASEA and figure out how to reverse engineer it, because there are trade secrets in the making of ASEA, not in the bottle. And so it really can't be copied. And that means we have no copycats, no competition. That means no one in the world has what ASEA has. No one. And I mean, no other products in the world can do what ASEA does. None of them, because nothing else out there is redox signaling molecules. Only ASEA is. Nothing else in the world can get to the depth and level of achievement in the human body as what ASEA can, because redox works in everybody. Everybody needs redox because nothing in the body works as well or at all, in fact, without redox. Your body stops working without redox. And redox can't hurt anybody. Now, no other products can make that claim. No juice, pill, super shake, fancy water, CBD oil, or whatever it might be, however good it might be, it's not redox signaling molecules, and quite frankly, can't work without it anyway. And so redox is the most important thing to take care of. And therefore, ASEA holds massive opportunities across all health science sectors, healthcare and wellness, sports science, athletic performance, beauty, skincare, aging, longevity. This is one breakthrough, ASEA, changing 3 multi-trillion-dollar industries. And again, ASEA is the only company in the world that the world can get a redox supplement from. And so this really is an entrepreneur's dream. Now, our mission here at ASEA is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. We can't do that on our own. And so that's why we look for people to help spread the word. Here's how we do it. It's simple. It's not complicated. We personally share ASEA Redox with others. Along the way, we find and grow and expand a global network of others who want to do the same. And in this way, you're in business for yourself. You can be your own boss, but you're never in business by yourself, because together we're better. And so we stick together and we work to improve the productivity of the networks that we've built. And you can do this regionally, nationally, you can do this internationally. And so this way you can build a business kind of like a franchise, but instead of building buildings and shops and retailers and restaurants like lots of other franchises do, here at ASEA we build people. And by the way, you don't need to even make, ship, or handle the products. The company does all of that for you. So in this way, you can make an income like a franchise, a global franchise, in fact, even way more than that, but without all of the huge expenses, huge risk, and huge stress that can come along with that. So ASEA gives you the opportunity to earn money just by sharing Redox with others. So if you're looking for an extra part-time, full-time, big-time, or even legacy-leaving income for loved ones, if you have dreams of a better life, income, lifestyle for you, for loved ones, for others, there are levels of commissions to meet whatever levels of ambitions, to be able to afford making your goals, dreams, and desires a reality, and better yet, empower you to be able to help others do the same. And so ASEA helps you create income that is both residual and leverage. So you receive a residual income, not just from the first, but from all of the repeated purchases made by everyone you refer to ASEA. Now, on top, you also receive unlimited leveraged income from all of the repeated purchases made by every single person your contacts and others also refer. And because you can refer as many people as you like, and because they can refer as many people as they like, and on and on and on it goes, and you get paid for all of the purchases they make, not just their first one, again, all of their repeated purchases too for a lifetime, that makes your residual income potential unlimited. Now, we do this all the time. We recommend good movies, TV series, restaurants, cafes, books, whatever it might be. We're doing the same here. It's people telling people who then tell even more people, and it goes on and on. Word of mouth marketing is the oldest and still today #1 most powerful, effective, trusted, and listened to form of marketing in the world. Nothing's ever beat it. Nothing ever will. There's no limits, especially with how connected the world is today. Word spreads worldwide. And ASEA is currently in 35 countries. They've opened up new markets every single year. We've been in business for over 10 years now, profitable with 0 debt from year 1. We've carried on that stat every single year, except every single year our income has gotten better and better and better. We've always increased in profitability. And so based on existing trends, our annual turnover is projected to exceed $500 million by the year 2025. Residual income is impressive. Being able to get paid while you have days off, while you're on holidays, making money while you sleep. It's very impressive, but more so, it's very important. You have residual bills, so why not have residual income? Now, here's what happens to most people by the time they're 65 who seem to not figure this out. Out of every 100 people, by the time they're 65, only 1 of them is wealthy, probably figured out residual income. Only 3 are financially secure, again, probably figured out for residual income. However, 7 out of every 100, by the time they're 65, must still work to survive. They still have to sell their time for money, probably didn't figure out residual income. Now, let's get this right. They're not working because they want to. They're still working to survive. They're working because they have to. They're a slave to the dollar. Worse still, 74 out of every 100 people are dependent on welfare by 65. Didn't figure out residual income. And so that's one of the main financial principles that I figured out. The top 4% seem to figure out that the rest of the 81% of us didn't. It's how to make money that's no longer dependent on our paid by the hour, selling our precious time for money, labor intensive or own activity job known as active income. Now, I figured out that sooner or later, I wasn't going to be able to be as active as I was right now. And therefore, I wouldn't be able to have as much active income for me and my family as I had, well, right then, right? And it was very concerning for me at the time, because at the time I'm thinking, well, my active income or isn't enough as it is. And as I said, I figured out this is a problem that 81% of people get trapped in. And so I felt very moved and motivated to not just change this for myself, but to help others change this too. Money is an excellent servant. I'm figuring out you can do a lot of great things, good things with money, but it's a terrible master. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll be a slave for money until you die. Now, I'm not saying jobs are bad. They're a great place to start for most of us. And if you truly do love your job, keep it. You are blessed. But still find a way to make money outside of your job that won't interfere with what you're currently doing, because only relying on a single source of active income is not smart and dangerous to your financial security. So if you are smart, if you wanted to be in the right place at the right time, if you're able to recognize a good thing, if you want to decide to take control of your finances, your freedom, your future, if you aren't happy with the amount of money that you have right now, or you're not happy with how you have to make your money, if you have dreams and desires and want a better life, ASEA is a significant opportunity to be paid a significant residual income from the inevitable growth of its global expansion and forge you those dreams and give you that real freedom. Now, there's nothing better than making a living from bettering people's lives. And that's what you get to do with ASEA. And really, it is who we become and what we do. That is the biggest reward over and above any riches it can make us. Now, you can make really great money here, that's for sure. You can even be rewarded on top with all expenses paid trips. But what I'm saying here is, at the end of the day, it is the effect we have on others. That is one of the most valuable currencies there is. And that is the heart of ASEA. Now, the truth is, after big pharmaceutical companies were shown tens of millions of dollars and 17 years worth of powerful research and clinical studies proving ASEA, those big drug companies offered to pay ASEA huge sums of money for the sole and exclusive rights to the ASEA Redox technology. However, those drug companies wanted ASEA to shut down and they wanted everyone taken off Redox. But thankfully, the founders of ASEA, Virtus and his son, Tyler Norton, they both had the great foresight to see very grave concerns in such a deal, because Virtus and Tyler got to see people who went from very severe health challenges that once left them and even those people's doctors feeling hopeless, to then these people being able to experience life-changing power with Redox. And when Virtus and Tyler saw this, they were filled with a great sense of purpose and responsibility, and they felt very compelled to get this breakthrough for humanity out to the world. And so they couldn't in good conscience sell out. That's why they didn't. They said no to the payout from drug companies and yes to the people. You see, for Virtus and Tyler, in all truth, it had started out as just a very big business play in the beginning. But once they saw what this was doing for people, what this was meaning for people, it became more. The ASEA founders turned down the huge sums of money from big drug companies, deciding to go the supplement route rather than the drug route, in order to expedite the availability of this technology globally and make it available to you and everyone immediately and without a prescription. And one of ASEA's foremost guiding principles was demonstrated here, as is always demonstrated in every decision they make. And that is to always put people and principles before ego and economics. Now, the ASEA founders and corporate teams come from big backgrounds, up to Fortune 50 backgrounds. They're exceptionally experienced in running very big, profitable, global businesses. But their corporate soul revolves around putting people first, having an impact, making a difference, bettering people's lives, being a force for good in the world. So you're in very good hands. Get back with the person who shared this with you. Let them know what stood out to you the most. And if you have any questions, ask them. They can point you to where you can find the answers very easily. Plenty of university studies. But most importantly, there's hundreds of thousands of real people's life-changing Redox experiences for you to see. ASEA is the real deal. But what's better than a third-party study is a first-party study. Get these products, get these Redox sealing molecules into you and onto you as quickly as possible and start improving your life as quickly as possible. You'll be able to see and feel it too. So if you want to be happier and healthier, if you want to live younger, longer, stronger, just becoming a ASEA customer. But if there's more in your heart, more dreams, more desires, if you want to be, do, have, if you want to be able to give more, if you want to help people be happier and healthy, if you want a better life, income, lifestyle for you, for others, look, if you want to increase the prosperity of the planet, become part of this Redox reality, and you can become more. And if you'll just pass this information on for many, many others, as someone's passed it on to you today, just by inviting you here, you can better the lives of many, many others, and your life will become better too, as a byproduct of that in many, many ways. So thank you very much for spending this time with me. Sorry about the technical hiccups. Thanks very much, Maria. I really appreciate you, and excited for everyone to hear from our next guest.
Excellent. Well, Stevie, I really appreciate your time. I just love listening to your story. You're so genuine, and it's just coming from the heart, and it's just really, really good. It really, the fact that you've got courage and no fear sums you up completely. A true Rocky man, which is fantastic. So thanks so much for your time today to share and explain and explore this fantastic opportunity that we have, not just for our health, but also to improve our financial situation. So on behalf of everybody, thank you so much for your passion for life and for aligning yourself with ASEA, because it's wonderful to have you as a mate and as a friend. So thanks so much. So to move further along, we now like to invite a wonderful guest speaker. Now, he's a very dear friend to Stevie and I, and many of us on the call. And if you haven't met him, you are in for a treat. Dan Doyle is he's a man filled with an absolute passion and a mission to get this life-changing health breakthrough to the world. Him and Suzanne are seasoned world travelers, and that's all they do. They share the gift of ASEA with as many people as possible. Now, Dan achieved the rank of number 3 in the ASEA world as an ambassador Triple Diamond, and is also a member of the $1 Million Club. Dan has got an enormous amount of experience in building not just these sort of businesses, but also a conventional type brick and mortar business, and is now a global authority in redox technology and cellular health, and also a very sought out international speaker. He's built and sold, as I said, many businesses and became very successful, but sometimes we are tested, and Dan was tested, and this is how ASEA crossed his path. He's got an amazing story. I would love you to take notes, and if you have any questions, please refer to the person who invited you along. So Dan, welcome to the call.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you everybody for being on the call. Listen, we should do this in a particular order, and obviously you've had an amazing experience journey with you and your husband in regards to not just what the products have done for you, but also what this has done for you financially. Can you give us a brief little overview on your experience just on both sides with what you experienced with the product and also where you are, and you achieved highly with ASEA, and really appreciate everything that you're doing for humanity.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, sure. So I'll tell you a little bit about my Lee's story. So we retired from the workforce in 2015, and we were planning to travel. Unfortunately, I guess when you work for 40 plus years, you're on absolute, your immune system, your body is in an absolute stress. So it's holding a pattern. Now, when Lee stopped working, that pattern was no longer there. So his body was actually susceptible to whatever was in the body, been there for 40 years. So he woke up one morning with something quite disturbing all over the body, and his gut was extended quite large, and he's very fit. So, you think the worst, and I set off and went on a research, frenzy. Did all sorts of things, tried all sorts of products, and I finally, after much money that I spent all over the place, we travel over New South Wales trying to find solutions through the medical model and the naturopathic and Chinese model, homeopathy, whatever. We wanted an answer. Nobody could give us an answer. We spent a lot of money, no answer, no solution. And we found ASEA, and we found you. And I do remember you telling me, say, look, I explained to you what Lee was going through, and I showed some photos, and you said to me, look, he's got to take half a bottle, half a bottle of this blue thing, and put this goo, you called it a goo, all over the body 3 times a day. And I just burst into tears because I was so stressed. I didn't know what to do with him because it was really quite severe what he had. And within 4 days, I did exactly what I follow exactly what you said. And within 4 days, his health turned around. Now that made me take notice. So I did ring you and I said, look, if it works as well as it has for you, I'll join you. I don't care what I've got to do. We've got to take this over to the well, which I have. Now, my journey hasn't been a fast journey, but I'll tell you what has done. I've lost everything twice in my life. So I've gone from hero to zero twice. And I was in the process of rebuilding everything, but it was still quite shaky for me personally. Right, as a couple we were fine, but this is just for me. And I hadn't contemplated doing anything at all. I just thought I'd continue working with what we had with my husband, and that was it. But as I saw what I could do for people, I took it upon myself to share it with everybody. And over a period of 5 years, you know, life is fluid. It has some challenges. You know, I lost my parents and a whole lot of other things. I reached the level of diamond. Now, what that has done is it has brought into the household another corporate income that's ongoing. And I've set up my children and their children, and I will continue to do that. So it has changed our lives. And in that process, I have been very fortunate, very blessed to have had the opportunity to impact other people's lives. So I've helped single mums to go from zero to a really good income so that they can buy presents for Christmas, so that they can put food on the table, so that their friends don't come home and say, oh my gosh, you've got money to make soup. So, you know, crazy stuff. And so, yeah, it's changed my life in so many ways, not just financial, but also personally, spiritual, and, you know, and I'm just so focused on becoming the best person I can possibly be so I can reach the top of this. That's what I wanted. So there you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Your story is so important. And this is what we do, guys. We share our stories. You heard an incredible presentation from Stevie Aquilina going through the incredible breakthrough that ASEA is. To reiterate, the biggest breakthrough in health, anti-aging and sports performance that we'll ever come across, potentially that we will ever see. So just to let you know to still relax. We're not here to sell you this or convince you to do anything. This is literally just sharing this information. Everybody needs to know about this breakthrough, that it is there and it is available for you and your loved ones. So just to reiterate, my name's Dan Doyle from Sydney, Australia, and my wife Suzanne and I are based here in Honolulu in Hawaii. Weather is beautiful one day, perfect the next. And I'm going to go through my story just to wrap up. We've done it in a little bit of a different order today. Normally I come in halfway through the presentation, but my Stevie had to take off, so my story's here at the end. So for anybody who hasn't seen it, just going to go through what I normally go through, and for those who have, more than welcome to leave the call. So growing up in Sydney, Australia, I was a guy who played many sports to distract myself from something that I didn't like, which was school and education. And I got into traditional business, but I was disciplined in many different sports and really excelled at rugby and judo, gymnastics, aerobics, surfing, and also this thing called bodybuilding. This isn't Photoshop. This is a photo of me from 30 years ago when I was 24 years old. For any ladies on this call, don't get too excited. I don't look like this anymore. But this is the start of me being a young entrepreneur. And, you know, over the next 2 decades from this time, I built and sold 20 traditional businesses in many industries: the construction industry, security industry, hospitality industry, and as I said here, in the health and fitness industry. And over those 2 decades, I employed about 3,500 people. And I was self-taught. I never had anybody to train me, no teacher, no mentor in building and selling traditional businesses, predominantly from inception, from start. So I really never let education get in the way of anything at all. You know, my schooling was my schooling, which I never was interested in. And I really either succeeded 90% of the time or I failed. And that success and that failure was really all my fault. So I never let my education get in, my schooling get away with a good education. So if we fast forward 20 years now and going to the age 44, and I'm not going to show any half naked photos anymore after this, but this is a picture of me wanting to be the best version of a 50-year-old that I could be. I used to go to the gym every morning, wasn't a bodybuilder anymore, as you can see. I just wanted to be fit and healthy. But thank God I was in this shape, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have found something that was not right with my body. And 6 months after this photo was taken in 2011, this is a photo of me on the right-hand side with no hair from the top of my head to my toes, going through what I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I spent 2.5 years in and out of a hospital in Sydney, Australia, and they told me that I had not just one, but 2 major challenges. A friend of mine standing next to me, Johnny Manor, 21 years old in this photo, had been through the hospital visits that I was going through, and he was in remission. He had what they would have considered the good one, and I had 2 of the bad ones. But after this photo was taken, and Johnny, you know, at 21 was back to playing the highest levels of rugby in Australia, his issue came back. He went back into hospital, and unfortunately for Johnny, he never came out. We lost him at the age of 23. At the end of my 2.5 years of hospital visits, my doctors told me to get my affairs in order. I made a decision at that point to take the responsibility of my health back into my own hands, did some research. Research led to an alkaline diet, also spent a lot of money on nutritional supplements, super juices, antioxidants, alkaline water from different companies from around the world. I wanted to live. I wanted to survive. For the doctor itself, my blood works was still heading in the wrong direction. I was still in a lot of trouble with my health. A friend of mine calls and says, I think I found something that could help. So here in 2014, I made my way from Sydney, Australia to Salt Lake City, Utah. And I started on these amazing little molecules, Redox signaling molecules. And I can tell you, in 3 hours, physically, it turned my life and my health right around. In 3 hours, my body was expelling things from it so fast, I had little red spots all over my upper torso. In 12 hours, a 20-year stomach problem, a caffeine intolerance had gone away. And in 48 hours, all the lung damage that I had from what they put me through in that hospital, where I had trouble breathing and talking at the same time, my lungs were functioning perfect. I went back to Australia. I kept drinking these amazing little molecules. And if you fast forward 1 year, this is the day the doctors told me in 2015 that I had no sign of those 2 major challenges. Multiple injuries from playing sports that were turning into that crippling issue as we get older had gone away. 20 years of pollen problems, sneezing, runny nose had gone away. My whole body was rebuilt top to bottom in 2015. So that was my journey back to health. Quick story, because we're running a little bit late and we're getting to the top of the hour. And if you fast forward, this is a picture of me 3 years on the product, and you can see I'm looking younger, definitely feeling a lot younger. And now 6 to 7 years on the product and what these molecules, these amazing little molecules can do for the body. So if you go back to 2014, when I didn't have my health, what you're seeing on the outside is a reflection of what was happening on the inside at that time. 1 year on the product, what you're seeing on the outside, the same thing is a reflection of what you're seeing on the inside. 3 years on the product, looking younger, feeling younger, definitely. And my full health had come back, not just in that first year, but it was just still continued to improve over a period of time. My complexion, a reflection of what you're seeing on the inside of me at that stage. So that was my journey back to health, back to looking younger and feeling younger. I can tell you that this has been the most amazing journey, not just for my health, because after a few months, I started sharing this with people. The biggest regret that I have when it comes to being involved with this company, which I've been involved with for nearly 7 years now, is not sharing this with people from day one, because it's scientifically impossible for these molecules not to work inside of our bodies. There's no other supplement in the world that can do what these redox molecules do for the body. They are foundational. Nothing works without them. So because I had the ability to share this with others, to help with others, the company started sending me thank you checks. And thank goodness they did, because at that point of our lives, we were living in a van and almost went to the Salvation Army for food stamps, because we'd lost everything when I lost my health. My wife was looking after me. And through those hospital visits for 2.5 years, we ate into everything that we owned. So those thank you checks I invested back into my health. It gave me the ability to buy more product, to saturate my body with more molecules, to get those molecules to the damage, and to signal the body to where the problem was. And that is what Redox does. So from what you heard with the presentation, what Stevie went through, Maria went through, and we're going to wrap up now, but I believe that what we have is the most compelling the opportunity for 2 reasons. We have a vehicle that can potentially take people back to their health, but also a vehicle that can take anybody to wherever they want to go financially. So guys, this is the perfect storm, coming from the corporate arena, coming from being heavily involved in traditional business. I would never go back to those business models again, knowing what I know today with this incredible breakthrough and what this can do for any individual. You can see I'm setting alarms now to make sure I'm on time for other calls. With that, I'm going to hand back to Maria, close this ASEA presentation, and I'll get moving to the next call. Maria, thank you so much. Love you being on these calls and working with you, knowing for you so long, and thank you for your passion and doing so much for humanity and building such a big business and helping so many people. We'll catch you on the next call.
Certainly will. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks, Daniel. I just got to say thanks so much to you, because if it hadn't been for you, none of us will be on this call today. So I truly, Lee and I are ever so indebted to you and to Vertus Norton and his family for not starting out on this fantastic technology. So thanks so much. You're an amazing leader and mentor. We truly appreciate you. Guys, if you've got any questions, please go back to the person that invited you along to this presentation, and you won't be disappointed. It's the best thing you can possibly do for your life, particularly now. Much love to everybody. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you on the next call, same time, same place next week. Bye, Dan.